Welcome you all for the video lecture series of the course Electron Devices and Circuits with the subject code EC8353, and this course belongs to 3rd semester EEE students of Anna University Regulation 2017. Let's go into the first topic of Unit 1, PN junction diode structure, operation and characteristics. At the end of the video, you will be able to understand what is PN diode and how it is formed, what is PN junction, what is unbiased PN junction, depletion layer, effects of doping in depletion layer, barrier potential, temperature effects on junction potential, and current in unbiased PN junction. First topic, PN diode. This diode can be abbreviated as di plus ode. Di stands for 2 and ode stands for electrode. So we can say diode is the combination of two different electrodes. What are all those two different electrodes? Let us see now. So P-type semiconductor material acting as an one electrode, and N-type semiconductor material is acting as another electrode. By using these two electrodes, how to form a diode? This is nothing but, as you already know, the semiconductor is formed by N number of atoms which is having a crystalline structure. By joining a P-type and N-type semiconductor material, without disturbing the crystal structure at the boundary, by using a special fabrication technology, we will get a resulting device, that is PN diode. This PN diode can also be called as a semiconductor diode. This is because it is made of semiconductor material, silicon. It is also called PN junction diode. This is because while forming a PN diode, when you look into this figure, while forming PN diode, there exists a junction in between the P and N-type semiconductor. This black line indicates the junction. Because of the presence of this junction, we call this diode as a PN junction diode also. And at the same time, it can also be called as a crystal diode. This is because the crystalline structure still exists even after the manufacturing of the device diode. Hence the name crystal diode. So this is the connection diagram of a PN diode. This is P-type semiconductor, this is N-type semiconductor, and this is junction. And with the help of ohmic contacts, the electrode terminals are taken out. This ohmic contact is acting as a low resistance terminal. It allows the easy flow of electrons from P-type to electrode 1. Similarly, this ohmic contact acts as a low resistance for allowing the current flow to flow from N-type material to the electrode 2. So this is the connection diagram of a PN diode. And what is unbiased PN junction? So for knowing that, first you have to know about what is biasing. So biasing is nothing but the application of external DC voltage to any device in order to bring the device to its activation or working condition. That is called biasing. Here, unbiased PN junction. Suppose if the device is unbiased, whether it is possible to use it or not, or what is happening during the unbiased condition. In the sense, so when no external DC voltage is applied to the PN diode, the resulting device or the resulting diode, what we are getting is called as an unbiased PN diode or unbiased PN junction. With that unbiased PN junction, that is of no use. It is not possible to use it practically. So this is the unbiased. So if you want to use the device practically, so there is a need to give a proper biasing to the device. So for providing a proper biasing, we have to give external DC voltage. That we will see later. So the next one is depletion layer. So depletion layer is the formation of a layer surrounding the PN junction as soon as the P-type and N-type semiconductor materials are joined. So we will see how this layer is formed. So this is a P-type semiconductor and this is N-type semiconductor. So we have already discussed that p-type semiconductor is having a majority charge carriers as holes and minority charge carriers as electrons. Here holes are represented as majority carriers represented by plus sign, and these are all acceptor ions because this is having a trivalent impurity. P-type is having trivalent impurity because of its trivalent nature. It is having an immobile ions as negative immobile ions. See here, it's having a negative immobile ions. So this, the ions, that is negative sign represented inside the circle, indicates these ions are not responsible for conduction because it does not move, it is immobile. Similarly, in n-type semiconductor, this is n-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are electrons represented by negative sign here, and minority charge carriers are holes that are not represented here, and this sign represented inside the circle, that plus represented inside the circle, represents the immobile ions. Here the n-type semiconductor is having pentavalent impurity. At any instant of time it can donate one electron to the neighboring atom, so because of it, it becomes positively charged. So here that is immobile, that is not possible for conduction. So this is n-type and p-type. So when these two types of semiconductors are immediately joined, so what happens at the junction means, so here these electrons which are responsible for conduction, these holes responsible for conduction in p-type and this electron responsible for conduction in n-type starts to move towards opposite polarity, and these two gets recombined with each other. This electron starts to move towards p-type and gets recombined with hole. Similarly, this holes starts to move towards this electrons and tends to recombines with the electron, and it gets neutralized, results in neutral charge. So once if this layer, see here, once if this layer of positive holes on p-type get diffused with the layer of negative electrons on n-type, so it results in neutral charge. This results in the creation of dipole across the junction. See here in this picture, this is the dipole creation. Dipole creation is nothing but each pair of positive and negative immobile ions around the junction is called dipole. So this is nothing but the dipole. So this is the dipole. This is dipole and this is another dipole and this is another dipole. So 4 dipole creations will be there. Once if one layer of dipole is created, so what happens means, again the holes in the next layer in p-type and electrons in next layer in n-type now tends to move across the junction and it gets diffused with the opposite polarity, and again it gets neutralized, results in neutral charge. So again this will creates in the another layer of dipole arrangement. See here, another layer of negative immobile ions here, positive immobile ions here. So this combination results in another dipole creation. So this will happen only for a very short duration of time. Once a particular layer of dipole is created, so this acts as a barrier or insulating layer, and it does not permit the further diffusion of electrons and holes across the junction. So immediately when the junction is created, so the depletion layer will be created initially, and those depletion layer does not prevent the further diffusion of charge carriers across the junction. So ideally under unbiased condition, current conduction does not takes place because the circuit is also not closed. So current conduction does not takes place. So here this layer formation around the junction, we call it as a depletion layer. Why it is called depletion layer means this layer does not have any charge carriers. It is completely depleted or removed of charge carriers. Hence the name depletion layer. So this layer is also acting as an insulator. So that's why here depletion layer acts like an insulator, and it also possesses capacitance effect. How capacitance effect is coming here? How capacitance effect is coming here means, capacitor means one plate positive charge, another plate negative charge, in between dielectric. This is the structure of capacitance. So here the insulator is formed by dielectric medium. One plate with positive charge is formed by p-type semiconductor, another plate with negative charge is formed by n-type semiconductor. So we can say this diode under unbiased condition is also possessing the capacitance effect. So this is the way how the depletion layer is created in the PN junction diode. Next one is the effect of doping on depletion region. This is nothing but how the width of depletion region is affected according to the level of doping. So this can be clearly illustrated by three pictures given here. So first picture clearly shows when both p-type and n-type semiconductors are equally doped. That means the number of impurity atoms added to p-type and n-type are equal. So if it is the case like this, so the depletion layer width, that means the penetration of depletion layer towards, so this entire region is the depletion layer. So see here, so this is the entire depletion layer region. So this is the entire depletion layer region, and when you look into this, so the penetration of depletion layer width towards p side is this much and towards n side is this much. This is equal. This is because the amount of impurity atoms on p side and n side is equal, and hence the number of charge carriers is also equals. So as a result, the diffusion of charge carriers becomes equal in both the p side and n side materials. So the dipole creations will also be extended up to the same width on the p side as well as on the n side semiconductor. And in the second picture, this shows that if n side is heavily doped and p side is lightly doped, this indicates that n side is heavily doped means it is having more number of charge carriers, and p side is lightly doped, it is having less number of charge carriers. So while diffusion, the less number of charge carriers, almost all the charge carriers move towards n type and it gets diffused with the electrons in the n type, and this results in the creation of more width on the p side semiconductor than compared to n side semiconductor. See here the width is very large and here the width is very thin. So this indicates the n side is heavily doped. Similarly, on the converse, when the p side is heavily doped and n side is lightly doped, the depletion regions penetrates more into the n side region and less into the p side region. See here, penetration is very less in the p side region. So as a conclusion, what it indicates means if the doping level is higher, the depletion region penetrates less towards that region, or in other words, the depletion region penetrates more into the lightly doped region. That means higher the doping level, see here, higher the doping level, thinner will be the depletion region and vice versa. Right? If doping level is high, depletion region will be very thin. So that is the conclusion on the effect of doping towards depletion region formation. And the next one is the junction potential and barrier potential. See, junction potential in the sense, the another name of junction potential here we call it as barrier potential. It is nothing but, as I already informed, while the depletion region is created, it acts as an insulator. On one side you are having a p-type positive charges, on the other side you are having an n-type semiconductor with a negative charges. So this acts as a potential. We can say one plate completely one side completely positive charge, another side completely negative charge is separated by some distance or dielectric in between. It is also possessing, it's having some charge carriers inbuilt. So we can say it is having some inbuilt potential. So that potential we call it, this potential exists around the junction, hence the name this potential is called junction potential or otherwise barrier potential. This is because this depletion layer is acting as a barrier and it having its own potential, hence the name barrier potential. It is represented by either Vj or otherwise Vb. This potential is also called built-in potential V0 or cut-in voltage V suffix lambda. This is the literal meaning for junction potential and or otherwise called as a barrier potential. And the next one is how the depletion layer results in the formation of electric field in the PN diode. So this diagram is very simple. This is nothing but if the width of the depletion layer increases. For example, so this much is the width of the depletion layer here. If the width of depletion layer is getting on increasing, so this length, that is this length, will be getting on increasing. Suppose if the depletion layer get extended till here, so this will also, the width of depletion layer will be extended till here, and after that, due to the presence of immobile ions, due to the presence of negative charges on the n side, this results in saturations. So this represents the height of the depletion layer, which is nothing but the potential barrier, or the voltage level of the potential barrier. So that is given by this diagram. So this is just for an understanding. Now the next one is effect of temperature on junction potential. As we know that this diode is having a inbuilt potential called barrier potential, and what happens when there is an increase or decrease in the temperature under unbiased condition. That means in both silicon or germanium, this barrier potential, so what we call it as here, this barrier potential VB decreases by 2 millivolt per degree centigrade. That means for every 1 degree rise in temperature, this barrier potential decreases by 2 millivolt. So this relation between this barrier potential and temperature is given by this expression. So this expression is nothing but change in barrier potential equal to minus 0.002. This is nothing but 2 millivolt. It is 2 millivolt is represented by 0.002. It is decreasing, hence negative sign. This is multiplied by change in temperature. This is for per degree rising. So how much will be the change in temperature, that gets multiplied, and the barrier potential decreases. So this is the effect of temperature. So even though we are having a diode in unbiased condition, if we are keeping the diode at room temperature, its built-in potential will be something. If we are keeping the diode at the temperature of 30 degree or 32 degree, for every 1 degree rise in temperature, the barrier potential decreases by 2 millivolt. So that is the concept here. And the next one is current in unbiased PN junction. It indicates unbiased means we are not at all giving any DC supply to the diode. So even though when no external supply is given, is there any current flow in the PN diode? Means yeah, the current flow is there. There are two different types of currents that flows in a PN diode. One is the diffusion current and another one is the drift current. So let's see how this is happening. So diffusion current, this is the current flowing in a semiconductor. When the semiconductor is non-uniformly doped. Non-uniformly doped in the sense, this means a semiconductor, for example, if we are having a p-type semiconductor, we are adding trivalent impurity to the p-type semiconductor. On one side of p-type semiconductor, that means to one portion it is heavily doped, and on the another portion it is lightly doped. Means heavily doped portion is having more number of charge carriers, lightly doped portion having less number of charge carriers. So by nature, automatically when this happens means the charge carrier starts to move from a region of higher concentration towards the region of lower concentration, which means that charge carrier starts to move from heavy doped section towards the lightly doped section. So until it gets balances on either side. So while the charge carriers are moving, some current will flow automatically, because due to holes movements also hole current will be there. Due to electron movements also electron current will be there. So anyway, that is the current flow. So the current starts to flow towards the semiconductor from higher concentration to lower concentration. That current is called as an diffusion current. Right? The current, see here, the current produced due to the diffusion of charge carriers in a non-uniformly doped semiconductor is called diffusion current. For example, here we are taking p-type bar, and this is non-uniformly. This is this arrow represents the hole movement, and this dot represents the electron movements. It's moving from higher concentration. This is higher concentration region, and this is lower concentration region. So the holes starts to move from higher concentration towards lower concentration region. So this is one current, diffusion current, and the next one is drift current. So drift current is, by definition we can say, the current produced due to the drifting of free electrons. Drifting in the sense it is moving in a random direction. Since the electrons are moving in a random direction, some current will start to flow. That current is called drift current. So how this electrons will start to flow? This is under the biasing condition. See here, this is a semiconductor, and for that semiconductor we are giving external DC supply voltage, plus and minus. So positive is given connected to one electrode with ohmic contacts, and negative terminal of battery is connected to another side with ohmic contacts. So initially when the current is given, here the positive side of a battery, and this semiconductor is having both electrons as well as holes as majority and minority charge carriers. So the holes that is present in the semiconductor gets repelled by this positive terminal of the battery. Similarly, on this side, the electrons present in the semiconductor gets repelled by this negative terminal of the battery. So what happens means, all the holes accumulated on this side gets repelled by this force and starts to move towards in this direction. Similarly, all the electrons accumulated on this side gets repelled by this negative terminal and starts to move towards this direction. So the charge carrier starts to move in a random direction. The movement of holes results in holes current, and the movement of electrons results in electron current. Electron is moving in this direction, so that is represented in anti-clockwise direction. Holes are moving in this direction, so that is represented by clockwise direction. So both the charge carriers movements results in the flow of current, and this current is called as an drift current. Right? So there are two types of current present in a PN diode. One is diffusion current and another one is drift current. So diffusion current due to the presence of non-uniform doping of semiconductor. Drift current is due to the random movement of charge carriers under biased conditions. So these are all to keep it in mind. These two currents are somewhat important. Keep it in mind. So at the end of this session, at the end of this video, you came to understand about what is PN diode, right? What is PN diode, depletion region, how it is formed, and how the width of depletion region gets varied due to the effect of doping, and what are all the that is temperature effects in a PN diode, and what are all the currents in unbiased PN diode. So all the things you got clear in this video. Keep watching for the next video for the next unit in this syllabus. Thank you for watching.